Welcome to the Steve Show. Today we're going to talk about the surrender experiment. So this year I read the surrender experiment, and I think it was one of the biggest books that I read this year. For me, it made one of the greatest impacts. And the reason is it talks about letting go. That's why the word surrender is in there. But it's about this guy, Michael Singer, and he actually decided to let go. He wasn't happy with where his life was, and he went to the extreme, and he drove his bus into the woods and decided to just sleep in his bus and basically let go of life. But what he found within that is he got into some deep meditations, and he actually started listening to himself. Listening to that first instinct, that first thing. So even if he wasn't sure about something and it came up, or he saw a sign or something came up repeatedly, he went for it. He just said yes, even if there was part of him that said no. And think about it, how often in your life do your first instinct is a yes or no as far as what you're going to do with something, and then you talk yourself in or out of it. So if you initially said no, then we'll use all of our conscious thinking to talk ourselves into it or out of it. So I just want to ask you that question. How often do you go with your first instinct? That first thought that you have? I want to encourage you to do that. And I'll tell you, that's what I started doing this year. So I read this book around summertime. And since then, I've had just even more good things happen for me. And it really centered around making quicker decisions, being able to ground myself and say, okay, do I want to do this? Yes or no? And the first answer I go with, even if in my mind, I'm thinking not. Like there was actually some guys that I know that are, really good businessmen. They called me about a deal, and probably normally I would have said yes because of the size of the deal. But my first hit was a no. And I said no, and months later that deal had ended up falling through, and I would have wasted time, and I trusted my first instinct. And that's a lot. This book does so much more, but the main thing that I got was picking that first instinct. So really, really pay attention. What is your body? What are you answering for yourself? And so if you can actually, and that's where meditation comes in, because many of us don't quiet ourselves enough to even listen to ourselves. There's so much noise going on, so much music. Maybe you have the TV on, you're on your laptop. We have our smartphones with us now. So we're just like on and connected all the time. So give yourself permission each and every day, and especially when you have some kind of sizable decision to make, give yourself some quiet time where you can actually check in with you and see what you say. And when the answer comes to you, you'll know it, like that first instinct. And that's why people always say, trust your gut. It's usually that first instinct that hits us that is the right one for us. And that'll allow you to have things go so much smoother. And I just can't, you just have to try it out. I highly recommend the book, The Surrender Experiment. It goes much deeper in that. And the only other thing that I would add about the book that hit me really hard too is just also in any good or bad, whatever's happening, look for the gift in it. So when bad things happen in your life, look at where is the gift within this. And he also talks about that pretty heavily. So it's really about trusting that first instinct, going with it, and then also looking for the good in whatever's going on in your life. There's a reason, no matter what's happening in your life, there's a reason for it. So when you quiet your mind enough, when you quiet the things around you, just for a few minutes, it could be 5 minutes, you just give yourself time to center, you can find the right answer for you and have more joy, more happiness in your life. I've been able to have it in mine. So remember, get in the conversation. I want to hear from you. So on this episode right now, you can comment on our social media. Check us out. If you like this, then please subscribe, and then you're going to get quicker updates when the new episodes come out. I look forward to connecting with as many of you as possible. Pack that this book is made. I'm going to start from the top, but we don't have to cut it. I'll just do it. Okay. Flex those muscles, Steve. Ready, go. Okay. Welcome to the Steve Show. No. Here we go. Take 3. This is it. This is the one. I'm going to clap my hands. Okay, ready?